We up yet, Josh?
Should be up.
Perfect.
Give it another second. Right. It is another week and another race here in League of Ireland for Tier 3. Today we'll be racing in Brazil for the Brazilian Grand Prix. My name is Josh 6000 and here alongside me as always is Cav. How are we today?
Good, Josh. Looking forward to this one. 4 rounds to go, and Bluefoot obviously has one hand on the trophy, so it's going to be interesting to see if Gaffo can wind him in. If he's going to start it, he has to start tonight.
It will be interesting indeed. You know, the season closing up and Bluefoot with a somewhat comfortable lead, so the racing shoes will need to be on tonight and the hunt will be on. Now, we have a few reserves in today, Johnny Bastille being the most important one in tonight. All eyes will be on him. Also Azza being another one who, having a look and seeing where he is here. Can you see him there, Kath?
Haven't seen him join yet. He is invited, so
well,
hopefully he lands with us. He goes through many guises of name as well, so I don't see any he could be, but that's not to say he's not sneaking around somewhere.
Well, he's being predicted for P1 by Kajoko, so hopefully he joins so he can make that prediction come true. But yeah, we have the first car coming out. It is an Aston Martin. Is that the man himself? It is Johnny Bastille looking for the spotlight today. So let's see
the man.
what he can do today. So no expert, unfortunately. Certain someone didn't want to show up, so no. But yeah, no one today. Next week we'll be back. We'll be back as normal.
Stuck with us this week.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It was in the dark, so we'll try and make it up as we go, folks. We generally do, anyways.
There's a good few laps, so you never know. Seven safety cars can come out and we'll have a bit of entertainment then during some.
Yeah.
Sure, it's the boring parts, but this track, you know, there's a lot of overtaking opportunities. There's two DRS straights just after each other, so a lot of overtaking opportunities tonight. Around 36 laps, so it will be good. Anyway, Cav, as Johnny Bastille is coming up to the line, we're going to take us away on a lap of Brazil with him.
Yeah, so Johnny onto the main straight. Loving the limelight, as we always know, and should be keeping the car as far right as possible just to build up as much speed down into turn 1, dropping down usually to second or third gear, rotate in on that inside curb just a little bit, same on that one, just to get the car pulled around. The curbs around here are slippy, you want to give yourself a little bit of rotation from them, but you have to be so careful they don't help you lose the rear. As the DRS is open for the second time down into turn 4, he'll be coming down usually into 4th or even 3rd depending on your setup. Get the power down early, and you want to clip this inside curb just very lightly, if even at all. And now you're going to be dropping a couple of gears, little dab on the brakes, rotate the car in. Again, just be careful not to lose the rear. Johnny very tentative through there. As we come into the horseshoe, usually cutting in third gear, 4th for Johnny. You don't have to brake around this corner at all. You just literally drop down a couple of gears and away you go. Up through the gears for Johnny now again, usually third gear. Clip that inside curb just very lightly and very careful on the power here. Easy to lose traction. Should be staying as tight to the left as possible just to minimise distance. And again, same story with this one. You just, as you come through Juncow, want to clip that very lightly if you can. If you look to your right, you'll see where Josh's championship hopes ended last season. And as Johnny comes down the main straight, setting the tempo just after Gaffo, he will do a 1:11.1, so plenty of time in that lap for Johnny.
That was a great lap, especially towards the end. That was superb. I think we might have missed Gaffo going ahead of Johnny. Because he said an 8.2 before him. I don't know. I didn't see him go past him. Did you?
I didn't. I don't know how Gaffo's managed to post that so quickly. But yeah, he might have been a more, will we say, standard lap to follow. Johnny about 3 seconds to make up there to the lads. So just taking things slightly different. But Johnny obviously races a tier below. And I've no doubt he'll improve on that 1:11 as well as the session goes on. So good pace so far. The lad's setting low to mid-8s, which is quicker than I was expecting for bankers, to be honest. And they continue to tumble in.
Yeah, here's Rory Ryan now crossing the line. Can he beat Lucky Nutshot? Divisional pole? No, it's an 8.3, so it's a very good lap from Lucky Nutshot for an 8.0, being 2/10 ahead of Gaffo. So it's very good for him so far. And as we know, Bluefoot, a quali ban today, so he has not hit a wall. He is going to be starting from the back today, but I'm sure there's no doubt he'll be able to cut through the pack early enough in the race and be able to fight for those top few spots.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. There's 5 I make it with qualifying bans, so there's a lot of ground that's going to be fought over off the start.
Oh yeah, thanks Colin, yeah. No, I have got it tonight. Unlike last night, I have got it tonight indeed.
So 1 to 10 have set their lap times, and we have a few more out on track at the moment. Ronan-osaurus just in sector 2, stepping up as a reserve. Ronan, we know, has very good speed, has gone well in this tier as a reserve already this season.
Ronan now not looking like a bad lap from him, down into first gear, which is interesting, and using first gear as well, so an interesting line from Ronan, but let's see if it's going to work out for him. He likes the low gears. He does like the low gears. Ronan now moving up the gears onto the main straight. There's going to be a lot of overtaking done in this straight. And then again on the next one just after this. He goes keeping it tight to the left hand side, close to the wall, coming across the line. And it's a 9.6 for Ronan.
Yeah. So a little bit off the pace, Ronan. I'm sure he'll come in as he always does on lap time. That was his second lap on those softs, so might explain a little bit of the lack of pace. So we see Carl now starting a lap. He's in sector 1 at the moment. Carl again, someone that's shown good improvement over the course of the season when he's been with us.
For sure, yeah. Definitely has. It's good to see a lot of improvements over the season, especially Lucky Nutshot being the main one.
Yeah,
coming up from tier 4, so he's on provisional pole at the moment. He has some superb pace as opposed to the start of the season, so there's a lot of that.
Absolutely.
This season, indeed. It's just going past the McLaren there at Darver. Darver also up there in the top 3, so we want to restart his good form from last season, this season, which hasn't been working out the best for him.
Yeah, so Carl obviously leading the way in the constructors along with his teammate Bluefoot. And they'll be looking to push on a little bit further with that battle tonight. So what can Carl set as his banker? And 108.8, so again, another driver into the 108s. Really, really impressive.
The time seems to be very close. Not as close as you'd expect on a track as short as this one, but it is. I'm sure the times will get closer as the time goes on in this qualifying session. As Gaffo now about to finish his second lap, he is going to abort his second lap. As I think he might have spun on it or something like that. He's got 3 minutes on this lap.
Yeah.
But Darver now in the second sector. See what he can do for himself, see if he can get himself closer to that pole position for today.
Lucky coming to the line. It's not going to be waiting for him. So yeah, Darver is going to be next to post competitive time, you would think. Johnny is coming to the line, but he'll need a major improvement if he's going to compete for pole. Well, 1 second off his time at 10.1, so good effort from him as Darver does a 108.1, so very close now to Lucky as well.
DK Phone coming across the line, improves by 3/10. A valiant effort at an 8.2, very close to Gap, only 3,000 off him.
Yeah, maybe there's a connection there between DK being in the southern hemisphere and the track as well. Really good posting for him so far. So we have a few drivers now on hot laps on their second runs as we get into 9 minutes left of this session. It's a full dry session, by the way, and the race itself will at least be starting dry the first 15-20 minutes that I can see, so good news.
So a possibility of a wet Brazil. Not a great place to be racing in the rain here. It can allow for some good drama towards the end of the race if it does happen.
Can. I think probably my favourite ever Grand Prix was won around here in absolute carnage in 2003. For anyone that's been watching F1 a long time, they'll remember it was Giancarlo Fisichella who eventually won for Jordan. Not without a lot of controversy after the race to sort all that out, but again, that was wet conditions and a huge number of drivers suffering from aquaplaning. So yeah, we could have had a bit of spice, but looks like it's going to be dry. No fuel tips from me tonight, Colin. You know me, I'm not a man to be giving out fuel advice to anybody, although I will save them an awful lot of money if they want to take the lead from me on fuel. You just may not get to the end of the race as JT goes into the sevens.
Yeah,
the first man now to break that.
There's Gaffo now coming across the line. Can he beat that? Oh no, he's just is he just starting his lap? He is just starting his lap there. I don't know why that comes up as if he's finishing a lap, but you look. Brewery Drain going to start a lap as well. This is Ronan. He has started a lap going into sector 2 now. 2/10 up on his time.
Yeah, Rory's an interesting one. Racing obviously in Tier 4 primarily this season, but then took a seat in Tier 3 as well and has been doing really well in both. Obviously going for the title in Tier 4, competing with the likes of Budge and Major Jam, and competing up here very nicely the last few races. Hasn't had his fair share of luck, mind you, but still going strong. And we should give a shout out to Azza, who's in the chat. We haven't had Azza racing with us for quite a while, and good to hear you're back on the mend, my friend. And Rando, I hope it won't be raining Wednesday, because the last time it rained, he took a certain Red Bull out and he wasn't impressed. We won't go back there.
So it's an 8.4, a lot more respectable. Ooh, and that is a great time by Gaffo, retaking that provisional pole at 7.8. So we're well into the sevens now. I'm sure that won't be the first time into the 107s tonight.
No. Going down the back straight, he's doing a little wiggle to celebrate. I'm not sure if that's for us or his teammate or just for himself, but either way, very good from Gaffo. And he's certainly doing all he can to put the pressure on Bluefoot, who we know will be starting towards the back.
So Daz now on a lap. Daz, who's definitely improved since the last time I've seen him in Tier 5. Good couple seasons ago now, I think. So he's up there in the pace in Tier 3. Only 4/10 off the... Oh, as I say that, he's just about caught the car from a spin, but
yeah,
that's going to destroy his lap from there. But he was up at around a 10th. It would have put him most likely comfortably up into the top 5 maybe, so that would have been a great lap from him, but that's that done for him. He has another chance to go. He has enough time. He doesn't want to be stopped in that grass for too long though, as you can get disqualified for staying still.
Yeah, it's an expensive looking lawnmower, mind you. But Daz back with us, hasn't obviously raced with us this season. Was with us I think a couple of seasons ago if I remember correctly, and was racing across, God, I think Tier 2 to 5 at one stage. He was showing up every night of the week. He was the Kajoko of his season and was obviously competing really well, so good to see Daz back in the grid.
Listen to it. So Mr. Phone is going to be starting a lap very soon. He's right behind the Aston Martin, so hopefully that doesn't hold him up too much.
Mrs. Phone won't be impressed if it does.
No, I think he might be going into the pits. He has 100% ERS. He is going into the pits. He goes, and he'll be setting himself up for his final run. And you can see the top 7 in the pits waiting for their final run as well. So there's a few lads. Alex, who is starting a lap right now. Carl going into the 3rd sector very soon now. Let's see what kind of a lap he can pull out of the bag here.
So at the moment, it doesn't look to be improving. 300's over on his time, but there is time to be made in the last sector, but not for Carl.
The pits he goes. Got to prepare for his last attempt.
So Alex, just over a tenth up as he comes into sector 2. Alex, another one of those drivers who has come in fresh and shown great improvement over the course of the season. He's been reserving a lot in Tier 2 as well and shown a very competitive hand.
He has indeed. Alex has improved a lot over the season, and let's see if he can show that tonight as he's coming up to the line now. Alex currently in 11th with an 8.5, still not a bad lap, only half a second off of 3rd place. Alex coming across the line. That's not a bad lap at all. It's an 8.2 P6 for him.
Really good. I don't think I've spoken to Alex this season, unless I'm forgetting him. If I am, very sorry. You're very forgivable. But looks to be racing on controller from the looks of his inputs, so decent effort there. Decent consistency.
Now here's a man who needs to be on the podium, but he hasn't. Mr. 105 himself, LOI Ryan Curran.
Yeah.
Cruising around Brazil in 8th gear. He needs to pull a good result out of the bag tonight, just for himself, to set himself up for next season, because championship hopes aren't there.
There's a bit of a queue forming to get the best track position. Wouldn't recommend parking there for too long as the two Haas's fling by. Everyone's obviously looking to get the best of the track conditions, which will greet us for the last couple of minutes of this session. Just 2.5 left by my watch. So yeah, Ryan, we know he has the pace. Problem for Ryan all season has been consistency and keeping out of trouble, and won't win if you don't finish with those in your pocket.
So a few lads starting lap start. Lucky Nutshot with a 7.9 now. So that's P2 at best for him, so that's a very good effort. 0.006 of a second just ahead of JT.
Yeah.
So we have a few lads starting laps now. K Flemmo being one of them. And P5, haven't mentioned him all day.
No, and sitting on a very good lap at the moment. Ryan takes a really nice line through Sector 1, just 9 thousandths down at the moment, so we'll see if he's more time to find in Sector 2 and 3. And Gaffo confirming that the wiggle was just for us, so I don't know about you, but I'm appeased by that.
Yeah. So Ryan Curran taking a very steady line. He won't have any flashbacks tonight, so let's hope he can keep it in one piece, a little bit wide through the right-hander, but here he goes into the final part of Sector 2, coming into Sector 3. How much is he up in his time? He's only 200ths of a second up. Let's see if there's a lot to gain in that last sector down this straight. Let's see if there's anything to gain for Ryan Curran. Gets onto the DRS and he is straight into the pits. And that is it for Ryan Curran, unfortunately. We have a few people coming up to the line now, K Flemmo being one of them. On that main straight. This is his final attempt.
And he's given up in the twos, so no improvement coming. So have we anyone that's going to give Gaffo a run here?
Well, Rory Drain's going to be starting a lap. Blue Gunner has just completed his lap with a 8.3, so the times, very close together. An 8.3 being in 10th and an 8.1 being 4th. So the times are very close together tonight. And the checker flag is out for us. So we have a few drivers already taken it. Lucky Nutshot in second, of course, being one of them. Darver, Gaffo and JT haven't taken it yet, but Darver has derated and he is
validated as well. So JT is forced to the line. Will he take it? He does. A 7-7.
A provisional pole.
Yeah.
And like last week, Gaffo is going off the track. Gaffo hasn't validated, so he won't be on pole. Can anybody else? Can DK Phone take it off of him? JT with a great lap of 7.7. Provisional pole. Can anybody else take it off of him? Rory Drain has invalidated. Blue Gunner coming up to the line now, and the Fonz as well coming up to the line. He has a little slipstream off of the car ahead of him, and he's going into the pits.
Up, yeah.
Blue Gunner also into the pits. Rory Drain has derated, so the last man who can take pole off JT is DK Phone. Everybody will be having his eyes on him. He has the DRS on now. He is going to take the line. Let's see what DK can produce. And it is an 8.1 close. But no cigar for DK. It is pole position for JT around Brazil.
Yeah, Mrs. Phone applauds that one gently, but she's not overly impressed, so bit of work to do for DK.
Indeed.
And I'm just going to address this in the chat now. Colin, that is not what I said. We'll clip this. There was more to that sentence. But how and ever, you get this sort of twisted in my words regularly, but that's okay. That's okay.
So, that's it for qualifying at the moment. So, Gaffo in P2 needs to get that win today if he wants a chance at taking a championship off of Bluefoot. Bluefoot has a lot of work to be doing, starting all the way at the back in P18. So he has a lot of lads to be overtaken ahead of him.
Yeah, so a good session. Good standard overall for sure.
Well, yeah, it is indeed. And yeah, an interesting one seeing JT up there once again, and Lucky Nutshot, of course, in P3. So a lot of lads, maybe who you might have expected to be up there. So DK, of course, being, you know, thereabouts in the top 6. DK as well, of course, Darvra. So it'll be interesting to see what happens off the start. Of course, it's a very DRS trainee track, so I'm sure there'll be a lot of a few dive bombs for the leads into the first corner.
Definitely will. Definitely will. If there's one thing Tier 3 always does every week, it's entertain. So let's see what we have ahead of us as the drivers start to put together their setups.
Yeah, and the mechanics once again getting very close and personal to each other there.
Yeah.
As you can see.
Less we say about that, the better. I don't know what Cody's are doing these days or what they're focused on. To be honest, they've bigger issues. I'd take them leaving the mechanics like that if they could fix some of the other bigger problems. But, like, come on, lads. Seriously.
Yeah. The two mechanics want a bit of that sun. It's a very nice day in Brazil, and I don't think it's going to be... Shouldn't be raining. I think the
fella in front's getting some, but the two standing right behind him isn't. So I don't know what the purpose of that is. But however, the marshals on the right hand side of the pit lane look very amused by this all.
Yeah, having a look at the lads. Anyway, 30 seconds and we'll be getting going. Someone has readied up. I think it's the right time to be doing it now, and we'll be able to see what tyres each driver will be going on. I'd say the choice would be mediums for the lot. You know, could be an early safety car, especially with the cars bunched up on a track like this into that turn 3 or turn 4, I should say. Very easy to get on that curb, especially if you're going side by side with someone and it can have you in the wall.
Yep, and lots of options around here for tyres. Let's see what has happened.
So,
has been chosen.
Everybody except for 3 drivers on the mediums. Those 3 drivers consist of DK on the hards, Blue Gunner on the hards, surprisingly, not gone for his favourite medium tyres, and Ronan gone for the softs, so he'll be hoping to make up a bit of ground off the start.
Yeah, interesting split of strategies. Ronan, not for the first time, to stand out on the softs by himself.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a love affair there, like we've seen Blue and the mediums. Maybe they're the new hot couple on the track. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll have to have a look out for that, for sure.
And
but
say hello to Tommy and Cyril. Cyril's not impressed with Bluefoot's qualifying position. Unfortunately, Cyril, he did have a qualifying ban, so he's excused this week, not for the ban, but for starting in 18th. And some interesting commentary there about yourself, Josh, in the chat. I don't know how much of that we need to speculate on or comment on, but a bit of a ladies' man I'm hearing.
I don't see that in there at all, Kath. I don't know what you're looking at.
Interesting. Interesting.
And Tommy, yes, I am indeed awake this time.
Yeah, he only sleeps through Junkel. And if those ladies knew what happened through there, my goodness, they wouldn't look twice at him. They'd be all about LOI Khan, who unfortunately beat him to the championship. But listen, that's enough.
Yeah, I enjoy coming onto the commentary just to receive all this abuse and You know, I do enjoy it. I love it. Nothing else but to just reminisce about Brazil last season because it was such a great memory.
Well, taking the limelight off you is JT, who had a donut on the finishing straight. So has hit the wall, but obviously should be okay to take the race start. No damage usually on the formation lap.
The final car is lining up now. It is DK Phone onto the grid. Here we go. The lights are going, but we do have a visual glitch once again. The revs are up. The lights are blank. The cars are moving. We are a go in Brazil, and it is a very good start from Gaffo in P2, who makes his way up into P1 already off the race start through the first corner, and Darvra up into P3, having a look at P2 as well.
And we've a bit of carnage behind. Rhinosaurus and Blue Gun are both having spins. I believe there was contact. Yeah.
So, not too much going on the first lap, but there's Glenn Mack has gone round, and is that Darver gone round as well, or is he being overtaken by Lucky Nutshot? He has. Kay Flemo as well having a look, but he nearly hits the back of the McLaren. The McLaren goes very wide, and Kay Flemo nearly gets contact there by Darver. Kay Flemo having a little look up the inside there, but he needs to be careful. He does have Ryan Curran right behind him with DK, who's dropped back a couple of positions down in P7 now.
Yeah, struggling to get temperature into those hards. DK is struggling with understeer massively on lap 1. They should come to life though over the next couple of laps.
He should indeed. The longer he can keep up with his teammate in P6, the better. As Ryan Curran tried to send a little dive up the inside. I think he's just trying to scare Kay Flemo a little bit, put him into a little bit of a mistake. Is that Gaffo already gapping JT? He hasn't gapped him by a minute and 10 seconds, I don't think, but
no, 7/10 I believe on my end, so decent gap all the same for
Rory
Gaffo
Drain now.
Rory
Drain has gone past DK, and DK's struggling massively on those tyres. He has the Fonz. He has gotten a great run on him. Is he going to use his ERS? He isn't. DK is going to keep that P8 for now, but he has lost one off of turn 1. So Kay Flemo seems to be struggling a little bit with Ryan Curran behind him. Can't exactly see the gap, but I'm sure he's still on that DRS 1 second just about for the moment.
Just looking at the lap 1 report, we had contact between the Ferrari number 10, which is Glenn Mack at the back, but interestingly who he had contact with was Bluefoot in P11, so we don't know what happened, but I wonder, has Bluefoot found himself in trouble for the second week in a row? We'll see obviously after the race. So far he's up to P11, and I'm sure he'll be delighted with the progress he's made in only a couple of laps.
Indeed. So the Fonz now very close to the back of DK. And DK is struggling a little bit on those tyres, but of course you would be on the hard tyres compared to the rest of the lads on the mediums. He seems to be getting gobbled up a little bit.
For sure.
Kay Flemo now just about trying to ease his way into that 1 second margin. He has used a good bit of his ERS compared to the rest of the lads. And is that a spinner? Is that Ryan Curran already on lap 3? Wasn't expecting it that early, but there he is. He is gone, unfortunately for him.
Congratulations whoever had lap 3 in the Ryan Curran spin sweepstakes. I'm one to talk. I'm the same equivalent in tier 2, but however, except I don't have the pace he has. Anyways, yeah, exactly. The top 4 now, all in a DRS train. Flemo struggling to hang on to it, and that's going to be really important for him. He needs to give it in that 1 second window, or he's going to be left behind on the double DRS zones.
He is indeed, as JT just about within that 1 second range of Gaffo. He has that DRS, so it will allow him to catch up ever so slightly now. And Lucky Nutshot very close to the back of it. Is that Ryan Curran gone again? It is.
It is, yeah, on Junkel. And maybe he's just slowing down to have a look at your car down the right hand side, Josh.
I knew something was coming there.
Oh, this is another 32 laps it is, folks.
Oh, yeah. Jesus.
And Lucky now getting really close to the back of JT.
He is indeed.
So, will he be looking at a move over the next couple of laps?
As Daz getting close and personal there with Bluefoot. Bluefoot just gone by him. Daz tried to have another look up the inside, but he couldn't make it work. He's down into P10, and Bluefoot up into P9.
Yeah, so next up for Bluefoot is the Fonz, and the Fonz is not an easy man to overtake, but he's currently caught up himself behind DK Fawn, who's fallen right back from Rory Drain on those hards, and I know there's a differential between the tyres, but he really seems to be struggling on temperature.
Yeah, he definitely does. 3 seconds is the gap now, and this is going to hurt the Fawns and Bluefoot for sure, as Ronan makes his way past.
And that's Johnny Bastille around.
Yeah. So here we have the Fawns now on DK, finally going for the inside of turn 1. Can DK possibly fight this? He isn't. He's going to back down as Bluefoot through the inside gets onto the grass.
Yeah. Wow.
And he is just about staying ahead of Daz, who tried to have another look at him, but was that a very opportunistic move there by Bluefoot? Maybe a little bit impatient by him, trying to get past.
Certainly lucky to get away with it, and Daz now, while he was looking at attacking a second ago, has Kachiga right on his back as well, who's made progress to P11, so this will be interesting. And we should say good evening to Mr. Serious Mushroom, who's always with us every week. Again, you know, I love a good name, and that's a great one.
Oh, and that's Blue Gunner gone. And also Johnny Bastille. The two of them are gone nearly at the same time.
Synchronized spinning.
Pass him there. As the top 4 still just about in a train, as K Flemmo has actually made his way into the DRS range of Darvra. So Darvra must have had a little mistake, because he's out of the DRS of Lucky Nutshot. I don't think he'll have it for the next straight. No, he's not going to have it. Past the DRS detection line, and he is going to be in trouble here with K Flemmo behind him, who also doesn't have DRS actually. And that's Glenn Mack once again, gone for a spin in the second sector.
Yeah, so top 6 all running quite close and very similar in lap time. Then obviously we've the gap back to the Fonz, who lost out and been stuck behind DK F1 for so long. And then we have championship leader Bluefoot, who is still stuck behind DK Fawn at the moment.
So Lucky Nutshot looking very quick behind JT here. JT might be in a little bit of trouble. He needs to stay within that 1 second range as he's coming in and out of the DRS. Let's see if he can get it for this straight. Lucky Nutshot will be hoping he doesn't. It'll be a close one, I think. JT, he might be out of it.
Yeah.
Lucky Nutshot is in the DRS range.
JT was in it.
Oh no, he didn't get it.
Oh, strange.
He doesn't have it, so he seems to be gaining time as well on him, so that's a little bit weird one.
Yeah, because it initially told me he had it and then it disappeared, so I'm not exactly sure what sort of glitches we're dealing with, but he definitely looked to be very quick in a straight line there. And he has the rear wing open this time, so Darvra, the first man to have missed out, and K Flemmo has it on him this time, so K Flemmo now closing right onto the back of Darvra within 2 tenths now as they come through turn 4, and we've yellows in sector 2. Is that Glenn Mack again?
Yeah, he's going to be overlapped.
Yeah.
And interestingly, did I see a little fuel saving from JT coasting through the 4th corner, trying to save a bit of fuel as he has the red light, so he is under-fueled around here. Very brave of him. To be under-fueling here, he'll be hoping for a safety car.
Yeah, and luckily for you, but not for our viewers, they don't tend to be as prevalent around here as some of the other tracks we visited, so 7 safety cars is probably at a stretch, but you never know.
Yeah, you never know indeed. That's Glenn Mack. I think he is going to retire. It's not his night tonight, and I think that's fair enough.
Yeah, unfortunate for Glenn, just doesn't click for him too often. As K Flemmo here having a look at
Darvra.
He's up the inside, he is. That's beautifully judged. Perfect on the brakes, and Darvra will have to back out.
Darvra's coming back at him here. Darvra will have the DRS. Will he be using his ERS as well? No, I think he's given in. K Flemmo, he sees that red flashing light on Flemmo's car though, so he'll be having a go at him next lap if he can keep within that 1 second range of him.
Yeah, we've an Alpine in trouble, I think, in sector 1. Was that Daz going wide? It must be. He's fallen down the order, and DK Fawn's gone with him.
And Ryan Curran speeding in the pit lane, and Ryan Curran is also retired in the pits.
Okay, so dropping like flies at the moment. But yeah, going back to that move from K Flemmo, really nicely judged on the brakes. Hard with the DRS wide open, and he seems to be carrying a lot of straight line speed to get it perfect, but really, really nice move from Flemmo.
Yeah. Very nicely judged. No contact, no nothing. Took the corner very nicely, and he has Darver now behind him. In that second sector, he seems to be running higher wings compared to Darver. Seems to be a little bit slower on the straights, but faster through the corners. Darver now 7/10 behind him and gaining with DRS, as he knows K-Flamo has a very low amount of ERS, so Darver will be able to make that move happen if he keeps it steady as he goes a little bit wide and cuts the corner slightly through turn 2, I should say.
Yeah, and JT and Lucky having a battle here down into turn 4 as we have more yellows in sector 2. Is that another spinner?
Is that the Mercedes there? Is that DK?
Yeah, it's DK.
It is,
struggling.
he's completely off the track. Ooh. Where's he gone?
Yeah, some lag issues there, I think. He's teleporting around the track.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's not doing it intentionally. If he is, he'd want to teleport himself to the front, but however. We have Lucky now all over the back of JT.
Yeah. The only thing helping JT here is the DRS of the car ahead of him.
Exactly.
So he'll want to keep that as long as he can. As Lucky now is burning a bit of his overtake to stay as close as he can to JT. He has the DRS on, so does JT. They're both going to stay within the same time as they were before, but JT is catching Gaffo, who seems to be leading comfortably so far. He doesn't have over a second gap, but he hasn't been pressured by the Aston Martin behind him.
Yeah, and the fact he's burned very little of DRS tells you that he feels comfortable out there at the moment. Obviously would like to break that DRS slipstream, but outside of that, he seems to be driving very nicely at the moment.
So Bluefoot now, close to the back of the Fonz. Haven't seen much of him yet, but they have closed that gap slightly to the cars ahead, or to Darver ahead, I should say.
Yep. You'd wonder what Bluefoot is thinking at the moment. I imagine he's quite frustrated. He clearly is more paced than the cars in front, but maybe that contact early in the race just gave him a little scare and he's going to bide his time a little bit more. I think it was contact with DK if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. He's very low on ERS, so is the Fonz ahead of him. So he doesn't have a lot of a chance of getting by him if he doesn't have low wings, which I don't think he's running.
And speaking of low ERS, we have Rory Drain with less than 5%, so he's really using it up.
Here's Darver going for a move on K-Flemo, trying what K-Flemo tried, and K-Flemo braking very late. Darver trying for a little switch back there, but K-Flemo parked the car very nicely on the track, and Darver, once again, burning the ERS. He has saved it up nicely, going around the outside. K-Flemo going to try and stick it through the inside. Darver doesn't have the traction, but does he though, as he has the slipstream coming up to this next right-hander, and K-Flemo is going to stay ahead of him just about. It was a good battle between the two, but 4.5 seconds is the gap to Lucky Nutshot ahead of K-Flemo.
Yeah, all this battling is costing both drivers time. Should just mention Ronan's just been in the soft tyres that he started on, and he's gone onto the mediums, so he's a good stint to still go from there. Well, I'm not sure they will.
Yeah, it'll be difficult, but you never know, as we have Darver once again much closer than last time out to K-Flemo. I'm sure he'll get this done even before the corner.
Significantly out front, Josh. JT has fallen out of the DRS at Gaffo on the main straight, so Lucky was able to pull right in there, but it looks like he might get it back in the second detection zone. He will, but Lucky already has a huge overspeed and he's going to be side by side, if not well past him. Oh, and looks like JT got out of that quite early. Decided to give it up.
Bluefoot and the Fonz having a bit of a battle here. Can Bluefoot finally get past the Alpine of the Fonz? Not looking likely, but he has the overspeed on him slightly through the inside of a very difficult corner to go side by side. The Fonz is giving him the room, so is Bluefoot going through the inside. Once again, the Fonz goes very wide and lets him by, and that's Bluefoot into P7 eventually.
I said don't put it up the inside there because it's rare two drivers will keep the cars on the right lines that you can go side by side, but in fairness to the two of them, give each other racing room. That's brilliant to see. Now will the Fonz be thinking he can have another pop at him on the straight? Fon's getting out of shape and all that.
Yeah. I don't think he's close enough to make a move on Bluefoot here, but we'll see. Bluefoot, you can see his red light flashing, meaning he is derating below 10% of ERS.
Fons just goes a little bit deep into 1, and that's going to compromise his turn 2. But he looks much quicker in a straight line. If the Fons can get the right run on Bluefoot, I think he might have him.
Yeah, indeed. And we have another yellow flag. That is an Alpine of
Daz
Daz
again, I believe. Yeah, just really struggling after a good start.
And once again, is that? I wonder who that is. I think it's Daz again, is it?
It's Daz again. I think he's just staying out of the way of the traffic. Yeah, he is indeed.
Yeah.
Cutting the horseshoe grass and behaving himself very admirably.
As JT now nearly fallen out of the DRS of Lucky Nutshot. He's just about in it back again for the main straight and the one after it. Here's the Fons now. Can he get a better run than last time on Bluefoot? He gets a decent exit compared to him. He has a decent amount of ERS compared to Bluefoot, more than double. Bluefoot's still burning it. He needs to get better on his ERS management. As his red light once again for derating is flashing. The Fons gets a better turn
much
1.
Much better line, yeah.
And a better turn 2.
Much greater speed now through 3. If he can hold the rear of the car, he does. Brave.
Just about.
He's not burning though.
Close enough, yeah. Close enough this time out. And I think he may try possibly undercut him to get the overtake back on him. As once again, yeah, I think those tyres might be dying out on the Fons. Seems to be struggling a little bit on the exits.
Yeah. As we watch that, Lucky Nutshot picks himself up a warning, and K Flemo picks himself up 3 seconds, so that's going to hurt him.
It is indeed. K Flemo and Darva struggling a little bit, 5 seconds behind the man in P3, JT.
Yeah. And Daz cutting more grass in Sector 2, bringing out those yellows.
Yeah. K Flemo now close to the back of Darva. He is burning the ERS. Darva has 50% ERS. He's been managing his battery fantastically this race. You have another yellow flag. I don't think it's anybody spinning there. There's Rory Drain. Into the pits he goes.
First of the front runners. So Hards, I assume, from here will be the call. And is he going to try a cheeky undercut? This may trigger everyone else's stops a little bit earlier than usually scheduled, but only by a lap or 2. And this will be interesting now. Where will he come out, and will he have free air? He should. Only the lap down Alpine really is going to be near him. And this is great for Rory, so
yeah, he's going
let's see what he can do here now. Can he set a couple of good laps on his way out?
Yeah, clear air for Rory Drain. That's going to help him a lot, of course. Let's see if he can get any closer to the cars ahead of him. So K Flemo still close to the back of Darva. He's much closer than he was last time out on the previous lap, and Darva lets him through and he goes onto the grass. I don't think that has worked out well for him. Tried to give him the DRS, I believe, and he is now 2 seconds down, and K Flemo has said thank you very much for that, and he's gone right past him. And oh, Darva's hit the wall. He's dodgy going into the pit lane. Can he get it slowed down? He does. Onto the hards for Darva after a questionable attempt of grabbing the DRS there, but we've seen worse. And who's that going round? It's K Flemo off turn 2, and Lucky Nutshot, we haven't been watching, has gotten past Gaffo.
We have not seen that.
No, we didn't.
Big mistake from Flemo there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think he got any wing damage, I'm not sure though, but Gaffo has been overtaken for the lead by Lucky Nutshot, so that is, things have definitely taken a turn.
So Rory Drain now promoting into P10. It'll be interesting to see Rory's relative pace this time around as he brings those hards to life. Nobody has reacted.
Gaffo's going to stay out, and Lucky Nutshot's going to go in for the undercut on Gaffo.
Here we go.
Can this work out in Rory Drain's?
And Bluefoot's in too. This will be interesting.
Well, yeah.
See where he comes out.
Fonz K. Flemo is going to stay out as well after his spin. Which is questionable, but he's going to confirm it.
I see Real Johnny in the chat. We haven't had racing with us for a while. Greeting the ladies. They're all only here for Josh, I hear, Johnny, so there's no point in greeting them. And Rory back in front of Bluefoot. And looks to have made some good time over those 2 laps.
So JT just about staying within that 1 second of Gaffo once again. He's doing well to stay in it. And I wonder now, is Gaffo going to stay out another lap or is he going to go in? I'd assume the top 5 lads will go into the pits. Gaffo is in and JT is going to stay out.
Okay, just the opposite, so this is interesting. So they're all running within a couple of seconds of each other, so
let's see
who can have the best out
now can stay ahead of JT after overtaking him last lap. Let's see, or of Gaffo, I should say. And I think he's going to be a good while ahead of Gaffo. Or that's not Gaffo, that's the Fonz I'm looking at.
Yeah.
two completely different cars there.
Gaffo's on the pit exit, and this is going to be close. I think Gaffo might just have him.
Gaffo's going to be ahead of him just about, but he has very cold tyres, and these next few corners are not friendly to cold tyres. So it could be advantage lucky nutshot for this lap. As Gaffo, as you can see, understeering a good bit through turn 4, now up into the next right-hander. And again, not good on cold tyres, but lucky nutshot isn't catching up as much as he'd like to. Gaffo, give him a lap and those tyres will be nice and warm and he'll be able to go racing. But lucky nutshot does seem to be behind him, but let's see, come this straight, can lucky nutshot get past him? But it looks like Gaffo has done the overcut and he has done it well.
JT goes around again, doesn't decide the box this time around, so he's enjoying those mediums, and at the moment he's setting reasonable lap times.
So Gaffo, that undercut seems to be working a treat, and I will be taking notes for Tuesday. Or maybe I won't be, as Lucky Nutshot gets very close to the back from there. Lucky might be looking at an overtake on this second DRS straight. Will he be using the overtake? They both have similar. Gaffo's going to be using his. Lucky's going to be using the ERS as well, as Gaffo is going to stay ahead for now.
Yeah, Lucky does seem to have a little bit more pace in his car though, so it'll be interesting to see how these shape up over the next couple of laps, and all of this battling will mean that JT might just eke a little bit further away out front.
Yeah.
As we cross the halfway point in the race, so 18 laps in, and we haven't, I don't think, had the luxury of saying this all season. No safety cars.
I know. It's great. Maybe not for some of the drivers near the back end of the pack, but for us it is, and that is JT finally into the pits. K. Flemo, is he going to stay out? And Kachiga, the only two left on those mediums that they started on. K. Flemo's going to stay out. Kachiga also going to stay out.
Interesting strategy choice. JT leaving it late. Dylan thought he might be going for a soft stint, but that would have been very ambitious.
Oh yeah.
So in he comes, and will the overcut now work for JT? Will he come out ahead of the two lads? No, they're long through.
Yeah, they're gone.
So that's interesting.
That
Pour in laps, obviously. Gaffo finding the sweet spot. That 1 lap difference, giving him the jump on Lucky.
So Lucky Nutshot is still in that DRS zone of Gaffo, but hasn't been able to make that overtake work just yet. Gaffo is burning through his battery faster than Lucky, so Lucky just wants to save that, stay in the DRS zone as long as possible, and then when he has nearly a full tank, go for it. And that's a McLaren.
That's a Kachiga.
That is a Kachiga, not two of them, just one.
No,
gone round.
And he has to be careful. He's JT here just behind him. JT will need to negotiate him as quickly as he can. He might appreciate the DRS this could give him. He will.
Indeed.
And will Kachiga get rid of those mediums
go
this
in
time
there.
around? He surely will, and he does. They've seen better days.
Stayed out one lap too long for Kachiga.
So Flemmel goes around again, and I wonder, is he sandbagging for a safety car?
He could be, but I think it's unlikely around here. A safety car. And he'll have to go into the hards because the softs will only do 10 laps max maybe around here. And a push.
And one interesting factor at the moment is fuel. Lucky Nutshot at the moment minus a third of a lap, so he doesn't have enough fuel at the moment to get him to the end. He'll be in fuel save and coast mode. Maybe that's why he's happy in the DRS of Gaffo at the moment.
Yeah. As he seems
And
to
even
be
more so, JT.
Oh,
A
he's
lap
out.
and a quarter.
He's out of the DRS now. Lucky Nutshot. So that's not going to help him in the slightest, being out of the DRS. Seems to have a faster car in a straight line as that's Kate Flemmel into the pits. Seems to have a faster car in a straight line. He seems to be back into it now, I believe he is. So we'll have it for this next DRS straight. Gaffo still comfortably ahead. He is not burning any of his DRS as of yet. We're not burning too much of it, but he is.
So Flemmel now having to come out on those hards. He's dropped in an awful lot of places.
Yeah. Stay out a few laps too long. And who's that gone round? Is that Daz again?
It is.
Yeah, and I think Lucky is happy to stay behind Gaffo for now. He needs to save a bit of his fuel after under-fueling at the start.
Yeah, and that's Daz again.
Rory Drying very close to the back of DK on those very old hard tyres. Rory looking for a way past him here.
Yeah, as we see Ronan get 3 seconds for warnings, so that'll even things up between 8th to 11th. And yellows in sector 2, that's Daz once more. Really struggling with those tyre temperatures.
He is indeed. And here we go, Rory Drying close to the back of DK. Rory has no ERS to speak of.
No.
That's not gonna help him at all. DK just has slightly more than him, and that is Daz once again. As Rory gets onto the grass a little bit, and that's going to allow Bluefoot out of nowhere through the inside of him. As Bluefoot up into P5, that has helped him out a lot there. And Darver as well picking them off. Can Darver get another one here, being Bluefoot? Around the outside goes Darver on Bluefoot here. Bluefoot's going to try and stick it through the inside. Darver not giving up just yet. He's going to use some of his ERS surely here to try and get a move done on Bluefoot, and he is not. He's going to stay behind for now.
Really, really good defending from Bluefoot. Just left him the width that he was entitled to, but made Darver's life so difficult there to get around the outside. Really clever car positioning. So now how will these shape up into the next DRS section? As we come through Juncow, they'll all be looking to get the DRS. It'll be DK Phone who's the one to miss out, you would imagine. Oh, and we have Daz, and that's in the pits.
You got me excited there, that one. That wasn't my fault.
Yeah, it's usually your job to call them ones. I'll take the blame on that one. So here comes Bluefoot now, and he sees DK derating, but not exactly plentiful on the ERS himself. Darver having a lot more of it, but not close enough just yet. But now with a really good run, will Darver be able to use his ERS to propel himself up behind Bluefoot? It does look like he's a greater run this time. He wants that inside line, he's not going to get it, and this is going to be 3. Very close, and that's Bluefoot with a wobble. There was contact, but he hangs on to it.
Yeah.
Some wheel banging, but good move from Darver.
He's through on that 1 lap older tyres. Cuts the track a little bit there, does Darver. I wonder if he got a warning that time round.
Creative track limits for sure.
He is right behind DK now. Once again, DK struggling a little bit, and that's a penalty for Lucky Nutshot.
And that takes the pressure away from Gaffo. So a
indeed.
2-horse race at the moment becomes 1. Has track position, he has him out of his DRS, and now he has a 3-second penalty as well. So all looking good for Gaffo at the moment.
And here comes Darver on DK. DK goes into the pits. And Darvra up into P4, Bluefoot up into P5, just behind McLaren, as he will have the DRS on this next straight, and of course Darvra will not. So of course we know Darvra has a quicker car in a straight line compared to Bluefoot, so will he be able to make something happen in the AlphaTaurians? Look like it for now.
So all of our top 8 have made their final stop. Ronan I'd be less confident about, and Blue Gunner of course still needs the box, so a little bit of shaking up the order still to come, but this is pretty much a race to the line as it stands. I don't know about you, Josh, but I'm enjoying this non-safety car business. It's been very enjoyable to see the lads keep the safety car in and let the racing do the talking for once.
Indeed, yeah. Definitely much better when you see real pace be a factor instead of safety cars. I think we only had one of those races last season, Cap in Tier 2.
Yeah.
And that was a good one indeed. But here's another one tonight, and most likely not in Tier 2, as you normally see a few safety cars there. But it's good to see it in Tier 3, a nice clean race with 3 retirements, but all being in the pits.
For sure. So Bluefoot now in P5. How ambitious will he be? He obviously has the pace to take Darvra, but Darvra himself will want to hang on to that P4. And ERS management here for the last 10 laps is going to be key. We're over 2/3 distance, so from 4th to 7th, all looking very competitive in this train.
Yeah, indeed. Now, and as we are edging closer to the end of this race, and it is being teased out during the end of this week, we do have a special treat for you tonight at the end of the race, and it does involve a certain man, Catfish Corey. I'm sure you've all speculated through the picture. I didn't know what a catfish was, but it was certainly a few of you too.
For God's sake.
You have something to look forward to at the end of the race after the interview, so do stick around for that. And I'm sure we're all excited as me and Cav are.
Yeah, we teased out a potential time of circa 10:30. We might actually get there a lot earlier given the progress these lads are making. And the Fonz up the inside of Rory Drain there with a nice clean move, and should, and does hang on to P6, so really nice from the Fonz, making good progress, and now he's chasing down Bluefoot. But yeah, the Catfish Chronicles coming to you straight after the podium interviews, so please do stick around for that. Something different, something we're all looking forward to. And all I've heard in terms of build-up is that nobody is safe, so make it out what you will.
Yeah, it'll be great, and we're all excited for it. Only another 10 laps to go, 10 odd, so getting closer and closer, but Bluefoot not looking as quick as he usually does.
No.
He usually be by these lads, but maybe Brazil not as strong point. But I think it's just for today, it's damage limitation for Bluefoot having a quali ban.
For the final podium position now, Darvra has a run on JT, and can he get him with DRS? We'll see. Yeah. Oh, he's got a great run. This is going to be close. He's going to stick it around the outside into turn 1. Who can be later on the brakes? JT gets out of it quite early. Can you come back at him across the second detection point? Yeah, he's going to have a run there.
I think Bluefoot's going to have a run on JT more. No, JT quicker in a straight line than Bluefoot. Bluefoot seems to be running a very slow car in a straight line, and JT out of fuel as well, so he's saving a bit of fuel.
Yeah, and Bluefoot in that scenario as well, only 3% DRS to his name, so just doesn't have the battery power to help him along. JT sitting on 70% at the moment, so really good for him from that perspective, but JT still has 0.6 of a lap of fuel to make up here, so a bit more lifting and coasting to come.
Indeed. Bluefoot close to the back of JT, who does have a penalty. And as you can see up front, Gaffo has allowed Lucky Nutshot to catch up just that little bit more to him. But he knows he has that 3-second penalty, so Gaffo is able to relax and not stress out too much about his track position.
Yeah, for sure.
But Lucky Nutshot, an entirely full tank of battery. 90% for Lucky Nutshot, and he still does have to save a bit of his battery. or save a bit of his fuel, I should say.
Yeah, doing a good job of it so far though. It's gotten that figure right down. And Bluefoot gets 3 seconds, so that's interesting because that will give Rory Drain at the moment the advantage in that midfield battle. So Rory currently, looking at the maths quickly, will be P4.
P4, yeah. So Rory Drain looking very well.
And very important as well for Darver is that he has gapped JT here from the DRS perspective, so that'll be important too as we go into this final phase. And we should give a shout out in P10, Blue Gunner doing a mammoth stint on those hards, 28 laps at the moment.
I thought Gaffo went for a spin there. His lucky nut shot past Gaffo on the main straight. Thought Gaffo was in the wild, but he is still on track and he is looking for a move back on Lucky Nutshot after being overtaken by him. Lucky holding the outside line, Gaffo going through the inside, gets the move done very nicely. Lucky doesn't fight it too much.
Yeah, good respectful racing from the two lads. Neither needs to do anything silly here. Lucky shouldn't fight this too hard unless he's confident of getting that 3 seconds removed, but if he puts pressure on Gaffo, Gaffo could get one himself, you never know.
Now, I don't know about you, Cav, but Blue Gunner going onto the softs means a disappointing 0 times he has gone on the medium tyres today. So
yeah, I'm not a fan, I have to say. There's just not the same ring about it. You know, we're looking at a world here where Realnosaurus is on mediums, Blue Gunner's on softs, and I just think they're both living in each other's universe at the moment. But however. Dylan just asking what the penalty situation is there, Josh, if you get a chance.
Pull it up,
I know.
Nut shot by Gaffo again.
Yeah. Top 10, anyone with a penalty is just on 3 seconds at the moment, so it's all even, with the exception of our final 2 runners, in Blue and Johnny.
6 and 8, so there they are on the screen. Take a picture of them if you like. There, Dylan. They're here to stay. Gaffo is looking quite comfortable.
Yeah.
He'll be hoping none of those warnings can be removed, which I doubt they will be, by Lucky Nutshot, but Gaffo is going to stay within that DRS. I don't think he's going to go for any silly moves on him. But and speaking of silly, we have a Blue Gunner gone round, so not going on those mediums hasn't helped him the slightest today.
Yeah, those soft tyres have stabbed it in the back, the rear is letting go. And will he need to come in for a set of mediums? Nah, we're not going to get that out of him. No. Not yet, anyways.
Maybe for the last lap.
Maybe. Anything to justify it.
And the Fawn's very close to Bluefoot here, as Gaffo not burned any of his ERS, as he now has more than Lucky Nutshot. He might just go for it on the last lap. He might save a bit of his battery.
Bluefoot on the outside of JT here. Yeah. JT's having to save fuel again, and it looks like JT's gonna, he's gonna give Bluefoot the position for now at least.
He is indeed, but can he get back at him here as the Fawn's behind JT? Might be having a little look at a move on him. He'll be able to brake later than him if JT wants to save a bit of fuel. And he is gonna stay behind him for now. Bluefoot up into P4. That is not great for Gaffo at the moment, but he still does have that penalty, and it's a possibility to drop a position.
Yeah, I think Rory Drain's going to sit comfortably at the back of this train and not do anything too outrageous.
Yeah.
And he'll have himself a P4 as it currently stands, but he's still got another 5 revolutions to go.
Now onto the main straight goes Lucky Nutshot and Gaffo. Gaffo not burning any of his ERS. He is once again comfortable staying behind, possibly until the last lap. He might go for a move just to secure the win on track.
Yeah, and Gaffo himself just has a little bit of fuel saving to do. He's just about a 20th of a lap down. So him and Lucky both just a little bit of work to do, but easily done in the last 5 laps. Fine margins to be made up. But that might be why Gaffo's just happy at the moment, sitting in that DRS. Gives him a better opportunity to lift and coast.
Goes off the track there a little bit. I think he might have gotten a warning there from that. So he might want to be careful that he doesn't get a penalty himself.
Yeah. Yeah, so JT now has fallen almost a second back from Bluefoot, and if he allows that to happen, which he may have no choice, it's going to be even vulnerable to the Fons.
Indeed. Blue Gunner on those softs.
He's got them working.
Grabbing himself the fastest lap of the race so far.
I don't like it, but he's got them working.
Yeah. As the Fons now very close to the back of JT. Will he be gone past him even before the DRS line? They're side by side. But with the DRS, the Fons should be by him before the corner. JT trying to hold on to it. But the Fons is gone past him. JT still needs to save that fuel.
Yeah. The Fons himself, though, has a half a lap deficit, so there's a few boys here who could be in trouble, and this order could shake massively as we get towards the end.
Dead.
The man that's not short of fuel is Rory Drain. He's got nearly 4 laps left in his car at the moment, so he can go full pelt to the line.
That's the type of strategy I'd be running. Same as Rory Drain. I'd normally have about maybe 6 laps of fuel left. So I probably should be decreasing that a little bit, but
boring. Live life on the edge. We're in an energy crisis. Get it out. As Gaffo now 8 tenths behind as we come onto the home straight, and still with a little bit of fuel work to do here.
Yeah, so he doesn't, for his sake, he doesn't drop out of that 3 seconds of lucky nutshot. If he does run out of fuel, he'll just be going significantly slower than Lucky ahead of him. If he does run out of fuel, if he falls out of that DRS range as well, that's not going to help him in the slightest. As Lucky is burning it now as well, I think he realises he may be able to get out of that 3 seconds. Now coming into the last lap and a half.
Bluefoot here, he gets DRS off a lapped Aston Martin of Johnny Bastille, so Bluefoot won't thank him for that, but does allow the Fons to take a couple of tenths out of him on the back straight into turn 4. And JT might be hoping his Aston Martin teammate gives him a little bit of DRS here to help him, but he has, in fairness to JT, got himself back to relatively level on fuel, so good to see as Flemo gets himself another 3 seconds. That's going to hurt even more, but it won't cost him a position at the moment.
That's a yellow flag. That's Kachiga. Kachiga's gone round. Yes. So that'll promote DK up into 10th place now. Kachiga down to 12th. So out of the points now is Kachiga and Rory Drain. Round the outside of JT he goes with the DRS active and nearly squishes him into the barrier there. He has 0% ERS, does Rory Drain, and he is by.
So Rory very healthy on fuel, very unhealthy on battery, but we'll see now. JT I don't think has, no, he doesn't have enough in him to come back here. So job done for Rory from that perspective, but he has a bit of time to make up if he's going to jump Bluefoot here. That gap standing at the moment at about 3.2.
Yes. This last lap now coming up into the last couple of corners. Gaffo looking very comfortable to take this win. He has driven a very good race. Is the Fons? Is that the Fons?
Yeah.
He's out of fuel.
He's ran out.
In the second last sector, he is out of fuel. But anyway, here we come. Lucky Nutshot on track is going to cross the line first, but it is Gaffo just about a second behind. Lucky takes the win in Brazil.
Gaffo on now fuel about 100 metres before the line, so coasts across. Darver gets himself there. And Bluefoot, what sort of gap will we see now? Rory hasn't been able to do it, so he holds on to P4. Bluefoot, damage limitation secured.
Yeah, a very good effort from Bluefoot there. P4 for him. As we have the final finishers crossing the line, as Ronan is just about taking K Flemo.
Love to see it.
Or I should say the Fons just before the line, and DK just behind them in
racing
P10.
to the line. We love it. And yep, DK bringing one home. Mrs. Foam punches the air. She's thrilled.
As we have the final lads coming across the line. It is Carl and then Blue Gunner, unfortunately on those soft tyres, I should say.
So, what a race. An interesting one. And no safety cars, so
0 today, yeah.
Turn up for the Bucks for sure. And as we tick on to 10:15, just a reminder, we will have the Catfish Chronicles at 10:30 after the podium interviews, so do stick around, please. So yeah, an interesting race.
Indeed it was. So, Cav, why don't you run down the final order of the race while I get the race director?
Yep, so in P1, not for the first time this season, championship protagonist LG Gaffo closes the gap towards Bluefoot. P2, Lucky Nutshot after that 3 seconds, popped in behind Gaffo after they crossed the line. And Darver rounding out the podium in the McLaren. A return to form for Darver, great to see in P3. Bluefoot in P4, coming from 18th on the grid, really impressive. Rory Drain in P5, once again bringing home really solid points in the Williams. JT with fuel issues, dropping to P6 in the end. K Flemo in P7. We've Rhinosaurus in P8. The Fonz ran out of fuel on the last lap and drops to P9. And DK F1 or Fawn in P10, rounding out the points positions. Kachiga in P11. 12th for Alex, 13th for Carl, 14th for Blue Gunner, and Johnny Bastille classified in 15th, a lap down. We lost Daz, who had a torrid time in the Alpine, Ryan Curran, who's better racing against AIs, and Glenn Mack, who we lost earlier on.
So, after Ryan Curran getting flamed once again, we are going to be leaving the lobby, thankfully. And hopefully the lads, now if you want to invite them to the party, Kev, we can get them in for an interview. So, Gaffo, Lucky Nutshot, and Darva.
Absolutely. And yeah, that race absolutely whizzed by.
Did indeed.
Amazing without the safety car fillers how fluid these races actually can be. And luckily for you and I, we get paid by the race and not by the hour, so this suits everybody. So LG Gaffo, we need Lucky Nutshot and Darver. And you know it's going to be very strange here. We won't have Bluefoot.
No.
Nor is he welcome.
So I think we know who Cav wants to win the championship this season.
Not at all, but we've heard a lot from our good man this season, so it's nice to have a different makeup of the podium. Give the kids a chance.
So that is Gaffo there. So waiting for the other lads to join up, and we'll get going.
We will indeed. There's Lucky. So we have one more to go.
And there he is. So I'll kick us off then with our tier 3, position tree, P3 today, Darvra. Since the first race, it's your first podium. So is it refreshing to get back on the podium for yourself?
Yeah, it's very refreshing, I have to say. I've been waiting a long time for this, to be honest. It's been too long, I'd say. Yeah, I was happy with it. It was nice, clean. I locked up once, but how bad. Eventually got on the podium.
So you're happy out today. And so we'll go to your qualifying. You were P4 on the grid. Happy with the lap, or do you think you could have gotten a few more, maybe tenths out of it?
I could have definitely got a tenth, I'd say, out of it, but I invalidated my lap on turn 4 or 5, I can't remember which one.
Mm-hmm.
I just went too far wide and just, well, yeah, I think I could have got a tenth out of it, but I was still very happy to still be P4.
Yeah.
So, it was good qualifying.
But and then in the race, so of course happy out with the P3 overall. Was there a point where you thought you could maybe battle for the win, or was that did you think you had the pace at all for it?
Yeah, towards the end I was catching Lucky and Gaffo, but it was just, I realised with 5 laps to go I underfueled because I thought there'd be safety cars.
Yeah.
And so I started lifting and coasting and all this crack, and then I realised, you know what, just won't bother. Just stick to it, and all the lads behind me at 3 seconds, so stick with the P3, you know. No point in over driving the car.
So looking at the championship, of course, mathematically, I'm not sure if you're still in it or not. But championship hopes not all there. Do you think you can maybe, improve the standards and be able to get a couple more podiums towards the end of the season?
Yeah, I'm hoping to get podiums and wins more because just decent points, just consistency is all that's really needed, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, if you look at some of the lads who are top of the championship, they're consistently scoring points, like, so.
Yeah, indeed.
Just need to keep at that, like.
Indeed. And then for the next race, once again, no idea where we are. Austria. The weekly reminder from Cav there.
How do we earn the same money? I don't know, but go on.
How confident do you feel for Austria next week?
I'm not too bad around there. Don't mind it. Like, I've been practicing with no line around there recently, to be honest.
Wow.
So,
okay.
And I'm only like a second off with no line, but I'm enjoying it. Like, it'll be a good race, I'd say. So
here's hoping.
I'm looking forward to it.
Very good. Thank you very much, Darva, and congratulations on the podium today. And on to you, Cav, now.
Lucky, how are we?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Thanks for joining us. And we start, as usual, with your qualifying. P3 on the grid, if I remember correctly. So how was quali for you? Were you happy with the laps you put in, or do you think you had more in it?
I got 2 in. Validated the middle lap.
Right.
I was hoping for anywhere in the top 5.
In quali?
I've been doing a lot of time trials this week, and I've just matching my laps up against the tier 1 and tier 2 lads, and seeing how close I was getting. So I knew I was going to be up in tier 3 anyway.
Yeah.
When we got into the race, I had that little hope, thinking that I was on the pace for the win. And then no safety cars came, and then I was looking at the fuel, and then there was panic stations, and but just a little back and forward with Gaffo. I was just trying to excite the crowd. That's all it was.
Well, you certainly did that. And talk to us about those bits and pieces during the race. So first of all, your 3 seconds. I assume the 3 of them, you've no confidence you can get them removed, or had you more warnings than that even? So
it's track limits.
Dead and done.
That's
gotcha.
What it was, yeah.
And fuel, you went obviously aggressive, which based on what we've seen in tier 3 this season, is probably, not an unreasonable thing to do. How long did you have to fuel save from? At what point did you start realising that safety car probably wasn't coming?
I think it was 25.
Right.
In and
so
around
about 2
there.
towards in. Gotcha. And do you think without that you had an awful lot more pace to show?
Probably not more than the other lads, because it was clear that they had fuel issues as well, but it was more how much did I have compared to them, and I didn't know, so I was just testing the water, seeing how far I could get.
Of course. So P1, I think it was, in Belgium, if I remember right, and then a couple of points positions over the last 2 races, and now P2 again. So certainly getting stronger as the season has progressed. I suppose, what are you looking at doing for the rest of the season? Are you happy with kind of how the progression has gone, coming towards the front of the tier 3 pack?
Yeah, I started off well in Silverstone in tier 4, but then slowed down a bit for a while, and then I've picked up again, just putting more practice in, and laps are coming together, and there's less mistakes, while there's always still mistakes, but there's less.
Of course. And looking now to Austria next week, how do you feel about Austria?
Shit show.
And how do you really feel about Austria?
I don't want to see it.
Really? Don't like the track at all, or just not quick around there, or what is it?
It's always chaos. No matter what lobby you're in, you're always going to get crashing, and there's safety cars, and it's a horrible place. Dive bombing, broken wings. I've had a broken rear wing. Like, it's just...
It's just carnage. And beyond that, obviously, we have, in case we're not talking to you again, we've USA and we've Abu Dhabi. Either of them appeal to you in any way?
Pretty good around USA.
Okay.
Like that track. Abu Dhabi's nice too. So.
Okay, good. So get past Austria and then hopefully 2 good results maybe towards the end.
Hope so, yeah.
Great stuff. Well, Lucky, thanks for talking to us as always, and I'm sure we might see you again before the end of the season.
Thanks, lads.
Very good. Congratulations, Lucky, on another podium in Tier 3. Very well done. And so, on to our race winner today. It is one of the challengers for the championship. It is Gaffo. Gaffo, how are we feeling after that one?
Feeling great.
Of course you are.
Bit different from last week.
Exactly. So you're closing in that the championship a little bit more now. Of course, Bluefoot got P4, so damage limitation for him. But how do you feel after that win then?
Oh Jesus! Thank God, Lucky said that he wasn't getting those 3 seconds removed. Because after last week, I have no trust in the stewards whatsoever. But yeah, it was a good race. I'm happy to at least get another 13 points on Bluefoot, although I'm fed up of him constantly starting from the back or starting a little bit further back, and all of a sudden he's up in the top 5 every single race. So it's quite hard. It is going to be quite hard to catch up. Obviously, I think like one of the main questions is, will I be able to catch up? And it is going to be quite hard to do that if no matter where he starts on the grid, he's going to get up to the top.
It will be difficult, but I think it will be closing in ever so slightly after that race and in the next couple of races as well. So you're qualifying today, P2. It was a very good lap from JT. Do you think there was a little bit more time left than that, or were you happy with the lap overall, do you think?
Oh, I was quite angry, obviously the lap that I put in to get provisional pole for, I think, majority of the session, I was quite happy with that.
Yeah, we saw.
I thought there still, I thought there still could be a little bit of time, and to be honest though, again, just like last week, I don't think there was that much time where I could have robbed pole, although I invalidated, so we'll never find out anyway. But sure, qualifying was I can't argue to be being on the front row, and obviously we know what happened into the first turn, so it's quite irrelevant whether I start on pole or second. If I have a good reaction, if I'm fast off the line, I'm going to take the lead anyway.
Exactly. Very good. And so, as you said, you think it's going to be difficult to get the championship, so we'll take it one race at a time. Austria next week. How are you feeling around there?
Well, I don't know. I've never had really a lot of motivation to do a lot of practice around Austria, because I've never actually raced in a league race in the new game on Austria.
Okay,
but I have a good history around it. So obviously my first League of Ireland podium was in a wet Austria. I remember. I think I could have actually won it if I wasn't for a few time penalties. And I think Aaron McCann at the time done 36 laps of Austria and didn't make a pit stop. I remember the race distinctively. And yeah, but that was my first podium. And I hope that maybe I can continue that, get on the podium again. Hopefully maybe even a win as well. So I don't know, but I'll have to see. I'll have to put in a few hours over the week and see what happens.
Yeah. Well done today, Gaffo. And congratulations on the win. So,
thank you.
That is us for today. Well, that's it from me and Cav. Of course, as anticipated today, we'll be having the first episode of the Catfish Chronicles. Hopefully not the last, but hopefully the first of many. But that's it from the race for me and Cav. Thank you very much for watching that. And now I'm going to pass it over to Catfish Corey. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Josh. Absolutely delighted and honoured to get my own little segment at the end of your stream. Well, yours and Cav's. I know he might go a bit mad if I give you.
Yeah, be very careful, praise. Catfish.
Yeah, see, I was already getting sacked.
This can be ended very quickly.
Yeah, my bad.
It's okay, Corey. You say whatever you want.
Anyway, welcome everyone to the Catfish Chronicles. The most highly anticipated event of the year since Katie Taylor's fight got cancelled. But I'm here to basically do what Ted does in the F1, because 2 weeks ago, I think, Josh came to me begging to add a little flavour to his and Cav's stream because it was going a bit stale. So I humbly accepted, and I said, you know what, I will. I'll bring my charm. And I'll add my flavour. Pause. So, in this, we will be breaking down in 3 mini little segments, I like to call them. The first up will be the Fish's Eye, which will be my personal little review of the race, little rundown, a highlight reel. Next up will be the Cockpit View, which will be a Q&A. That will be questions I have asked drivers during the week. Then last but not least, which actually might not happen tonight, which is a shame because it would have been my favourite, because I'm a steward in Tier 3. But it would have been the naughty list, which consists of drivers who got called up to the steward's room. But since it was quite an, shall we say a nice way, uneventful night with no safety cars, not many people will be called up to the steward's room. So let's break down the race. The reserve drivers were Ronan, Daz, Big Johnny Bastille from Tier 4 representing, and Irish Ass, who was a no-show. I mean Azza, sorry. He was a no-show anyway. People who had quali bans were Bluefoot, one of two. He only served his first one, so he'll be missing out next week as well. Ooh, make it interesting. Glenn Mac 420, because he was a no-show. I think, judging by his name, I know why he was a no-show. King Papa, who was a no-show tonight, so he'll be serving that next week. And Kachiga, who just wildly ended up getting 4 license points in a Tier 2 race. Represent Tier 3 better than that. Come on, Kachiga. So the qualies ended top 5. JT, Gaffo, Nutshot, and Devra. Oh, and DKF1. I'm not calling them DK Phone like Bert and Ernie. That's just, give the man some respect. So, during the race, it was a big brain play from JT during the formation lap, psyching everyone out by doing the little wobble and crash at the end of the formation lap. Psyched them out in Tier 1, or in Turn 1. They won't know what you're doing. But unfortunately that did not work. Glenn, Bluefoot and Ronan taking a bit of a spin in Turn 2 and 3. Same with my big man Johnny Bastille. Lads, come on, it's a car, not a Beyblade. Keep it straight. Bluefoot risking the championship doing a little bit of a dive bomb. Now, if someone does report him for that, I didn't get a great look on it, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll blow this championship a bit more open. Oh yeah, Derver, don't fight with the pit wall. That's just the best advice I could give you. You'll always lose. Bluefoot and Derver had a little smooch, kissing during a little turn. Cav only enjoyed the non-safety car, or the no safety cars, because he's on the report. That's a little insider knowledge now for you. Cav's on the report, so he's delighted that it's going to be a little quick one. Ronan with a costly wobble in Turn 1. Can't really be doing that now, Ronan. And that was basically it, yeah, because it was quite a uneventful race. Shots fired from oh yeah, Gaffo, don't be shooting shots at the stewards. We make the decisions. So we'll move on to the cockpit view. I've asked 5 drivers during the week a few questions. We'll start off with Bluefoot. I asked, do you feel a bit more pressure with your 2 quali bans? He said yeah. But as we've seen in Baku, I started last and finished 3rd, and anything is possible. Well, the cockiness, I love it. But he proved his point tonight because he got up to 4th, which saved his championship, because he's in quick maths, he ends up on 142 while Gaffo ends up on 119. So we could be taking this down to the wire. I asked him, did he see himself having such a tight grip on the championship? This wasn't as cocky, because he said, at the start of the season I thought I would be outclassed by other drivers. But I had a great last few races and I haven't finished below 6th yet. That has given me a decent lead to Gaffo, but with the quali bans he could pull back some points, but once I keep my head for the next 4 races I believe I'm in for the championship. Yet again, I think he might actually be in for the championship. I doubted him, but now I can't. He's just too fast. Gaffo was the next driver I asked a few questions about. Said, how much more confident are you now that Bluefoot has 2 quali bans? He says he definitely feels more confident, but it's unfortunate how the 2 tracks he got penalties were for Brazil and Austria. I'm really hoping Austria has a few more, shall we say, just say that straight, a few more crashes. He said there are 2 tracks that the overtaking is very easy, so he'll more than likely breeze past like he always does. Gaffo giving a few props to the championship leader. I would have been tearing him down if I was in Gaffo's position, being honest with you. Getting into his head. And then I asked him, does he want to be promoted if he is champion or tier 3 champion? And he says he doesn't want to comment on it because he wants to focus on this season. That's absolutely fair. I respect that, and the best of luck to him. JT, my boy JT, I love him. Yet again, proving Cav wrong and as a dater and a hater. I asked him, was he surprised by his first win in Baku? And he gave me a nice long answer, so bear with me. The win in Baku was a surprise because of how things unfolded during the race. If there was no late safety car for me to box onto the softs, I would have probably been a P7 or maybe a P6 at best. But it wasn't a surprise in that sense. I have to know I have decent enough pace around most tracks to be fighting at the front. But I've made mistakes or things haven't gone my way which have led me to not getting the results I know I am capable of. Hopefully the win in Baku on pole in Bahrain gives me the momentum I need to finally start putting in some complete performances. I'm upset for him. He just dropped out of the top 5 tonight. I think he finished P6, maybe a P7. But you know what, if he keeps his head up, he's definitely gonna get it in the next one. Come on, JT. I believe in you, bro. I believe in you. So I followed up by asking him, where does he see himself finishing? He said he's in P7, 15 points off P5 and 34 points off P4. So with 4 races left, he'd like a P4, that's hopeful. But P5 would be nice. Go big or go home, JT. Go big or go home. Now, King Papa, who was a no-show tonight, which is ironic since I asked him, would he reckon he finishes 3rd in the Drivers' Championship? And he says, yeah, I'm hoping not to make any more stupid mistakes now after last week. Well, a no-show is kind of a stupid mistake. I don't think he was... No, he wasn't one of the drivers subbed out, so... I guess he doesn't want 3rd as much as he thinks. I asked him about an incident between him and Marley, because those 2 got into it in last week's race and were commenting about it, or going on it at each other about it in the Tier 3 chat. I said, do you think the stewards ruled correctly on the incident between Marley and you? He said, I didn't send the footage in. Yet again, not helping your case. Come on. Come on, King Papa, you're better than a no-show and not sending in footage. Come on. He said, It's a difficult decision. I feel like he moved while I was overtaken, hence the retirement. Still, not good enough doing the no footage, pal. That's not going to help your case. We have someone on the naughty list! K. Flemo. Lap 1, Sector 1. What did he do? Do I have it on my... K. Flemo. Do I have it on my nose to give everyone a little taste of what he did? Flemo. No. Of course I don't. Flemo, what did you do? Ooh, that would be interesting to see. That'll be interesting to see. Well, I suppose that's it for this segment of the Catfish Chronicles. I'm afraid it was shorter than planned due to the naughty list being so short. But thank you all for sticking around, and I hope to see you all again next week.